Okay, so let's see how we can construct a road network system by using procedural road system. So in this session, we are going to look at the different types of roads that we have. So currently we have one-way and two-way roads. And then we are going to connect those multiple different nodes using road intersections. So we have crossroads, T-intersections, things like that. And I'll show you how we can use road supports to construct bridges and things like that. Also the landscape adjustments, which means in some places based on your road, the landscape should be adjusted. So I'll show you how we can do those stuffs as well. And at last, let's see how we can populate the custom actors on your road. Okay, so this is my project that I migrated the procedural road system to it. And yeah, so let's close the tabs that we have been already opened, and maybe I'll create a new folder called maps, and there I'll create some levels that we can use to demonstrate the features of the procedural road system. Okay, so I'll create a simple level, maybe from here. Just a basic one would be enough. Okay, and I'll save it. On the maps directory and call this one as, I'll just call it as maybe map underscore roads. Okay, so this is our level, and maybe let's add some material to it. So you can go to the procedural road system under the demo. Here we have global. Yeah, maybe the example not there. Yeah, the Lyra starter materials. Maybe you can use this mi underscore ms blue 1. Okay, so we have this nice looking blue color grid to demonstrate the landscape material of the level. Also you can play and the character will appear, but here as you can see it gives some warnings, because in order to work your level properly you have to add the managers to your level. Okay, so let's quickly add those stuff as well. So what I usually recommend is, maybe you can go to the blueprints directory, and inside the manager just drag and drop each and every individual of these actors to your level. Okay, so there should be level manager, npc manager, tod manager, and finally weather manager. Okay, right, so I think I can show you one other important thing. So here you can see, soon after I added the TOD manager to the level, it just says multiple direction lights are exist. Okay, because actually if you open up the TOD manager actor itself, it contains all of those directional lights, sky spheres, sky light, sky atmosphere, things like that. So if you go to the viewport, maybe you will be able to see by default we have all the required stuff to properly construct your sky atmosphere of your level. Okay, but here you can see in this level I have these lighting conditions to implement this sky, but I don't need those stuff anymore. Okay, because the TOD manager itself, it will handle all of those stuff for us. So let's delete all of these lighting configurations on your level, and we are good to go. Okay, so here you can see, even if I deleted those stuff, our sky is there, and that warning has gone away, right? Because all of those stuff will be handled by using this TOD manager. Okay, right. So I'll show you how we can use the roads. So if you go and check out the blueprints directory, here we have this procedural road folder, and there it has all the relevant stuff that you need to construct a road. Okay, so we have like intersections, pedestrian crossings, road, traffic lights, zones, things like that. But in this section, I'm specifically targeting to showcase the features of the roads. So let's go to the road directory, and here we have one blueprint class or instance called BP road. Okay, actually this is a class, so using this class we have to instantiate the road instances in your level. So how you can do that? Well, basically just drag and drop this actor to your level. Right, now you can see there is a road. Okay, so how you can create a road in your level? Well, basically this is a spline based actor, which means by using these spline controls you can construct your road. Okay, so maybe let's just say you need a road like this, and you can even control its spline points. So let's just say if I need another spline point, simply you can do it by either right click on your spline and add a spline point here, or the easiest way is just simply click the left alt on your keyboard and simply drag this axis. So you can see it create another spline point, right? And also you can see the numbers appeared on top of these spline points just to visualize you what's the current spline point and on that specific section. Okay, and also you can see these green color indexes also appear just to visualize what's the current segment of the road, right? Because within the spline there are currently 4 different segments of this road mesh is being appeared or generated in order to construct this entire road. Okay, so the more spline points that you have, the more segments that will appear like this. Okay, and also you can control its orientation like this as usual by manipulating the spline point. Okay, right, so now maybe I'll rotate this player start towards that road. Okay, and if you play it now, you can see the road is there, and at the gameplay those numbers are not visible. Okay, because those are just for the debugging purposes at the development stage. Right, and now let's see how we can change this road. So currently it's just a one-way road, but if you click on it, and here you can see under the setup we have different options. So first we have road type. Okay, so currently you can see it's the one-way road. So likewise, if you look into the other fields, we have one-way road, one-way SW. SW means basically the short form for the sidewalks, and we have one-way SWs with rails. It means sidewalks and rails. So maybe I will show you like the one-way with sidewalks. So if you select that one, nothing happens because once you did that change, it needs to be constructed again. So simply click on this reset defaults refresh option. So now you can see the sidewalks appeared on the road, right? So essentially this sidewalk is used to maybe spawn pedestrians and move them along the road. But anyway, it's totally up to you if you need to have a custom sidewalk in your level as well. And the next option is basically this one-way sidewalks with rails. And if I select that one and set reset the defaults back, you can see the rails spawned on the level as well. Okay, so these rails means basically the guardrails of the road. Okay, right, so all of those stuff comes under this data table, So you can either go check out it by simply clicking this browse button, or else you can go to this specific directory, which is procedural road system, data table, and procedural road. Okay, so there we have dedicated data table, which is dt procedural road, which basically a context holder of each and every individual road configurations. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier at the introduction session, in this procedural road system, we are following a data-driven pluggable architecture. So the advantage of having a data-driven architecture is basically you don't need to modify the code to make a change, and it is being generalized at this specific stage. So you can easily tweak the values or maybe override them to get what you need, right? So here you can see for a dedicated record, we have a dedicated road. Actually, we have a pavement, which is this static mesh, right? So in case if you need a different static mesh, you can do that also. And similarly, we have sidewalks. So these are the default configurations for the sidewalks. So in case if you need the sidewalks should be appeared by default at the road construction, then simply you can make them true as well. And similarly, we have rails and we have supports and segment configurations, things like that. And we have vehicles and pedestrian related configurations as well, but I'm not going to touch those stuff at this session because we have dedicated sessions for those stuff later on. Right. So now we covered the pavement, sidewalks, rails, and yes, I'll show you what this support means as well. So support means, let's just say you have some sort of a landscape, maybe which need a bridge sort of a thing, right? Which means you can't populate a road exactly on that specific land. So it should be bit up, something like that. So just to visualize that, maybe I will create a landscape. Okay, so currently this flow is just a static mesh, so maybe I'll remove that one, and instead let's create a landscape. Right, so I don't need this much large landscape, maybe 31 by 31 will do the trick. And as the material, let's use that flame material, which is MIMS blue 1. So let's create the landscape. Okay, right, so our landscape is actually in the C100 position, so I'll make it the 0th index, so you can see the road is there and our level managers are there as well. Right, so just to showcase you what this support means, maybe I will create some mountain range here. Okay, so go to the landscape and maybe I'll select this sculpt option and enhance it brush size. Right, so I can create some sort of a mountain like this, and let's just say I have another one over here, and let's just say I want to populate my road from here to here. Right, so what I can do is maybe I will move the road to here, and let's drag this pin like this. Maybe I will rotate it a little bit, so you can see when you have a higher road like this, the performance is bit low. So maybe you can reduce it like this, so it will only appear the road, or else you can even change it to the spline mode only, so at the runtime you can have a better performance, right? Otherwise, uh, based on your machine's performance, sometimes it may be laggy, right? But anyway, I think this would be fine. And let's make it like this. Okay, so now you can see actually if you set your road like this, it's intersecting with the level like this. Okay, because here we have some sort of a incline. So what you can do is you can adjust the road accordingly based on the landscape. So you can either click this align landscape option or align to flow. Both would work, but before that, maybe I will up a little bit like this, and here we have the landscape, and the level manager. So here you can see actually if you click this align landscape or align to flow, nothing happens because it doesn't know about the landscape properties or the landscape reference actually. So in order to select that, you have to go to the level manager, and there we have this landscape option under the setup category. Okay, so make sure to select your current landscape like this so that the road knows which landscape to be manipulated accordingly. Right? So now if I select the road and maybe I will first click this align to flow, right? So here you can see nothing happens essentially, but if I click the align landscape, it should work, but let me see. Okay, right, actually you can see it works. It has been already worked. You can see the spline is at the bottom, but the road mesh is bit up, which means actually it has already aligned to the landscape. But currently that's not the requirement that we need. What we need is we need to align the landscape to the road. Okay, so what we can do is maybe up it like this, so you can see there is some space. So now if you click the align landscape, the landscape should be aligned, right? Actually the align to flow works, but not the align landscape. Let's see why. Right, so now here you can see if you go to the output log, there is a error. So it says invalid landscape edit layer, which means the edit layer property should be enabled at the landscape. Otherwise, this actor may not be able to directly manipulate this landscape. Okay, so I'll show you the error again. So I'll clear the existing logs, and if I select the road again and click this align landscape, you can see that error is there. Right, so to fix that, let's select our landscape and search for the edit. Yeah, so it has this enable edit layers, so maybe I will disable it. No, actually maybe disabling it may not work, but yeah, let's give it a try. Yeah, So by simply disabling it, actually it works, right? Otherwise, what you have to do is, if you need to keep it enabled, right? If you need to keep it enabled, you have to specify what are the landscape layers, right? So here you can see at the landscape mode, under the manage, I don't have dedicated landscape layers currently. So that's why actually it's sort of giving that error. But anyway, if I disable it, now it works properly, right? So now you can see the landscape has been adjusted nicely like this. Okay, so I undo the changes and I'll show you it again. So maybe let's just say I increase the road height like this, and let's just click the align landscape again, and you can see the landscape is now adjusted properly according to the road height, right? Anyway, now what I need is, I need to get our road up to here maybe. Okay, so let's just have another spline point over here, another one here, and another one finally at here. Okay, and maybe I'll change it something like this. Okay, this would work, right? Now you can see actually our road is somewhat intersecting with the landscape. So what you can do is, again press this align landscape. So automatically the sculpting will be happened and the mountain will be adjusted according to the road spline. Okay, so maybe you can play it and wander on the level, and here you can see the road is being placed pretty much nicely. Okay, right. So from here, let's just say I need to spawn another road, or else you can even drag a new pin to here as well. But I'll show you how we can spawn a new road from this position, right? So all you have to do is simply click this spawn road option. So automatically a new road will be spawned over here, right? So this is not a segment, this is a new road, right? So here you can see there are two instances. We have first instance of the road over here, and we have the second instance over here, right? So I would suggest you to follow the same way as well, because if you can cluster your road properly in your level, it will be easy for you to make some changes later on if required. Okay, otherwise if you have a very long road spline here and there, if you need to make a change, it will make a drastic change to your level at once. But again, that's fine, it's totally up to your requirement, right? Now let's just say I want to, yeah, I just want to add another spline like this up to here. Okay, right. So currently you can see the road just going from here to here without any supports, which is a bit unrealistic, right? Because this should have some support as a bridge. So what you can do is, if you go and check out the road segments, so these are the road segments actually, and here we have the default configurations for the support. So by default these supports should be appeared, right? But currently they aren't. So let's see why. Right, So this add support option should be triggered. Also, I will toggle this add support to initial point. So ideally they should appear. Maybe I'll add another spline point here and I'll show you. Yeah. So you can see if I add another spline point, the supports appeared. Because currently we have only one, two, yeah. Now the another spline we have. Yeah, but earlier what we had was only two spline points, right? We had 0, 1 and 2 over here. But the 2 is actually the second index is actually intersecting with the ground, so it doesn't know when to appear the support. Also the first and 1 first and 0th indexes are again somewhat closer to the ground, so they don't essentially add a support, right? Because here under the setup support category you can see we have a min support trace distance, which means it requires at least this amount of a range to appear the supports. Okay, so what you can do is maybe here we need support, so you can add a spline point here, so you can see the support has been appeared. And let's just say from here also I need a support, and you can add another spline over here, so their heights and their sizes will be automatically adjusted. Okay, and also even if you add a spline point here, you can always change its orientation accordingly based on your requirements. Right, so that's the supports. And maybe let's just say, since this is sort of a bridge, I need to add some sidewalks and rails. So you can go to the road types and maybe select this option, one-way sidewalks with rails, and click refresh. Right, now you can see the bridge is been appeared and it look like this. Right, now the remaining part is from here actually it intersecting with the landscape. So all you have to do is simply go to this category and click this align landscape option. But here you can see if you select that option, it actually increase the landscape size up until to here. So that's not a good way. So in this sort of a scenario, what you can do is go to the landscape option mode, go to the sculpt, and maybe you can use this option, which is flatten, and maybe I'll reduce the brush size, right? And you can flatten the landscape a little bit, and let's apply the smooth so that slowly your road will appear like this. Okay, so I just want to appear my road, that's it. Right, then let's go to the selection mode again. Also here you can see like there's a small cluttering of the road, so in order to fix that, just adjust your road a little bit from that position so that cluttering will go away. Okay, right, then from here onwards let's spawn another road, right? So it is actually intersecting with the level, that's totally fine. But I will add another spline point to here, and not maybe over here, and then I'll select this align landscape option, so our landscape will be appear. Also I don't need the sidewalk and stuff, I will simply use this one way like this and click the align landscape back, so it will be good to go. Right, then I will create the road like this. and be like this, and simply click this align landscape. The landscape will be aligned accordingly. You are good to go. Also, not the mountains like this, you can even add some dips like that. So maybe let's just say if you have a road, go down like this, and maybe up at here, continue like this. If you align the landscape, those ramps also can be generated accordingly, right? Okay, right. So similarly, you can do the changes for the two-way roads as well, right? So the two-way road essentially means something like this. So I will maybe create another road instance over here, right? So currently you can see this is just a one-way road, but if you switch it to the two-way road and refresh it, you can see now it's a two-way road, right? With two lanes basically, right? And it would appear like this. Again, if you need sidewalks, you can use this two-way road with sidewalks, or if you need rails with sidewalks, you can add that in as well. So other than that, everything is exact same, similar to the one-way road. Okay. So if you need to make changes, you can always refer to this data table. So here I have configured 6 different road types that you can quickly use in your level to construct complex road networks. Let's just say you have custom road mesh, or maybe like different types of roads that you require in your level. So it doesn't matter. You can always add those configurations to this data table, and after that you have to give some unique row name to your configuration, and then you can select your road blueprint actor instance and select that specific configuration at here, and simply press the refresh, so the changes will be directly appeared on the label. Right, so I think I missed another one that I have to show within the roads actually, which is custom actor population along your road, right? Which is again another important topic. So let's just say maybe in your level there could have street lights that should be populated through your road, or maybe like some road blockers or any sort of a custom mesh like that. So you can easily do that by simply going to the custom actor section, and here you can see we have multiple different configurations. So we have add custom actors to the left side, right side, and what sort of a spacing that we need, and what sort of offset that we require, and what is the actor instance that we are going to populate over the road, things like that. So just to showcase that, maybe I will create a two-way road like this. Yeah, maybe this would be fine. Align the landscape, right? So now let's just use two-way with sidewalks, and if I select this add custom actors to the left side, you can see the street lights is been spawned. And similarly, if I use this option, the actors will appear on the right side, right? So these actors actually refer to this specific actor instance class. So currently I'm using this BP straight light base. So maybe in your scenario you may need a different type of actor, so you can simply create that specific actor instance and you can plug it over here, and after that if you click these options over there, they will be automatically appear, right? And You can control their spacing. Maybe let's just say you need to appear them in sort of like a distance like this, and if you need to make them closer, you can do it like that as well, right? Also, this actor offset refers how much offset it should have from the parent rod spline, right? Because our spline is this one over here, but because of we have multiple different rods with multiple different lanes, maybe we need to add some offset to our actor instances. So in order to do that, you can use this configuration, right? Like this. You can see it moves, right? And also maybe in some places you may not essentially need the actor to be appeared, right? So in such scenarios, what you can do is you can, first you have to populate these maps, and based on those maps you can control their visibilities. So what you can do is simply click these populate custom actors maps. So here you can see now this stuff has been configured. So essentially these are just a boolean map to have some sort of a context over the availability of the custom actors within your road. So currently you can see we have 6 actors on the left side and we have 6 actors on the right side. So those are the availability maps over here. So let's just say I don't need these 2 straight lights. So all you have to do is go to the custom actor map left side and you can disable these 2 records over here. So you can see now we can't see those straight lights anymore. And similarly, you can do the same thing for the right side as well. So it's totally up to you, right? And if you change the road, maybe let's just say you need a one-way road, again that's totally fine. But you can see the straight lights are now having a bit more higher offset, which is not quite good. So what you can do is you can reduce the offset like this, right? Now you can see they are in the proper distance, and the collisions and other stuff has been handled properly. Okay, so that's the custom actor population along the road, and I think this concludes all the essential features that I need to covered considering the road spline. But you can always refer to this specific actor and get a better understanding how the construction happens and how the segment population works and things like that. But yeah, that's the core concepts that you need to understand on the roads. Okay, so in the next section, I'll show you how you can integrate the intersections to your level so that you may be able to construct much more complex road networks on your level by combining multiple different nodes. So I'll see you there. Thank you.